Hey everybody, the Avengers. It's impossible for me to be non-biased in this review. I'm a big Joss Whedon fan. That doesn't mean that I think everything he does is perfect, but by and large, I am a fan of his work. I like the way he writes dialogue. I like the way he tells stories. So most things with Joss Whedon, I'm going to be in support of. Also, I'm really impressed just with the concept behind this movie, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The idea that they said, look, we want to make this movie, so we're going to make 5 movies that build up to it. That they believed in themselves enough to start seeding the Avengers back in the first Iron Man film and to stick with it. That's the kind of foresight you don't see a lot in movies, and it showed a lot of confidence. And the idea behind the Avengers itself is, alright, we're going to take these iconic comic book characters, we are going to make good movies about them for a change. We're going to cast celebrities in these roles. Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Iron Man, and then Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans, so on and so forth. And then, after you've gotten these guys to sign up as the stars of their franchise, you convince them to be in an ensemble film. I really like that. I'm impressed that they got it to work. And that the movies all were pretty good. Some people will argue about the quality of this, that, or the other movie. This movie's better than this, than this, than this. But I think we can all agree that, taken as a whole, all 6 movies, including the Avengers, are pretty good. A lot better than they could have been, at the very least. I've heard some people complain that Captain America is boring, and I think that's more an issue with Captain America than the story itself. Captain America is kind of a boring character in that you know what he's going to do. He doesn't have any deep personal conflicts. He's very straightforward. He's a paladin. He's the good guy. He's the red, white, and blue. He's going to save the kitten from the tree. He's going to be the good guy every time. God and country. That doesn't make him a dynamic character unless you're very careful about the story setting that you put him in. And his origin certainly isn't that. I still thought it was a good movie. It was a good action movie. The pacing was really good. There were a lot of places where the pacing could have gone off the rails and didn't. So I'm happy with all of the movies, really. But the Avengers, which I guess should be the primary focus of this, was just great. It really was. First of all, the writing was excellent. The balance between all of these major characters, good. The humor, dead on for me. But again, that's kind of the Whedon fanboy in me. He speaks to my sense of humor. The fact that you can watch it without having to watch all the ones that build up to it, good. The fact that watching the ones that build up to it gives you a little bit more, better. I'm keeping this spoiler-free, and I've already noticed I'm not just talking about the Avengers, I'm talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe completely, because it is such an impressive concept. It is so neat that they had this much faith in their product, because The Incredible Hulk is part of that. And you guys remember the disaster that was the first Hulk movie, and Marvel decided to try it again, and I think it worked. I like Edward Norton. I really like Edward Norton. Now, from the stories I've heard, I get why he's not back. So let me say Mark Ruffalo does a great job as Bruce Banner. So good, in fact, that I've heard that he is getting his own sequel, just based on the solidity of his performance, which is good. He shows us Bruce Banner as he would be at this point in the storyline, right? We're not doing origin stories anymore. He knows he's got this beast within him. He can kind of sort of control when he transforms sometimes. So whenever he has dialogue, there's this sense of him holding back. It's a good, solid delivery. I love Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark. It's just great to see a superhero who really just enjoys the hell out of being a superhero. Yeah, he's a womanizing alcoholic, and these aren't laudable qualities, but it's nice just to see the variety from the tortured hero with a tragic backstory. No, he's a rock star. And a superhero. I like that variety. Thor. I did a review of the Thor movie where I pointed out the idea of having an Asgardian in modern America is ridiculous. And they own that ridiculousness. I mean, he's got the big fancy dialogue where he doth proclaim that this truly be absurd. And the other people make fun of him for it and move forward. And it works. You own how silly it is, and you move forward. Great. You don't fight it, don't try to change it. I love that they keep the costumes. They didn't have to reimagine everybody's costumes like we got in the X-Men movies. I understand you probably weren't going to make yellow spandex work. But they put the effort into it, and they gave us the heroes as they should look. I liked that. I loved Captain America. Again, I'm not making spoilers, but if you saw the Captain America movie, you know that he's been on ice since World War II. So he's a fish out of water. And you can do an entire movie about Captain America being a fish out of water. It would be kind of a boring movie, but believe me, there are people who could do it, or at least would try. We don't have that here. We get references, sometimes comedic, so it's there. It's not forgotten about. It's addressed and moved on from. Solid. See, here's the problem. I could jump around and talk about all the aspects of these films, and I'm not going to bore you with that. So, what I would like to say, and I think the most important thing I can say about the Avengers in particular, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe in general. So here it is. Here's the big statement. Pay attention, everybody. I never read these comic books. Because I'm obsessive with start from the beginning. Like, I would have to go back and get trade paperbacks of issue number 1 and then read 50, 60 years of comic books. That's just the kind of person I am. Even if it's been rebooted, I really want to start from the beginning. So I've always stayed away from all of the superhero comic books. I've never read them. After watching The Avengers and the films that led up to it, I want to. I want more of these heroes. I want to read the comics that they were based on, and I want to read them all from the beginning. The movie did something I never thought was possible. And it turned me into a fan of these characters as opposed to just somebody passing by and watching them. And that should be all you need to know about the Avengers. Go see it. Go see the ones that lead up to it. And let's hope this trend continues. Let's hope that Marvel continues to build this cinematic universe, which to my knowledge is completely unique in cinema. The idea that they have created this interconnected web of movies, I love that. Because now, Iron Man 3, Captain America could have a cameo. And not just in the end credits. Like, he could just have Cap go run an errand for him, or whatever. Not to start tearing down characters and relegating them to roles or whatever. No. But my point is, they're in the same universe now, and we know it. Every movie now could or could not be a crossover. Even if Thor doesn't show up in the next Hulk movie, you know he's out there. I'm interested to see how far they're going to go with this. Are they going to try and incorporate in the X-Men characters? The Spider-Man reboot that's coming up, are they going to try and work Spider-Man into it? I worry that the more characters they try to add to this universe, the bigger the risk of it collapsing. Because it's early enough yet that one horrendous movie, like the first Hulk movie, could greatly damage this concept. I'd like to see it keep expanding. But I think they need to be very careful about it. That's all I've got. Go see it. Absolutely go see it. The action is good. The writing is good. Let me even say this. Spoonie, the online reviewer, who hates everything, loved this movie. Personally, I like my thing about wanting to read the comic books now, but Seriously, that man tears everything apart. And he doesn't even like Joss Whedon all that much. Liked this movie. Loved this movie. Go see it. And then come back and watch more of my stuff. See you later.